All right, so we're going to start with the gantry belt change. The first thing you want to do is position your gantry belt gantry in the middle of the machine. And then you're going to want to take a measurement from the center of your pulley to the center of the bolt here. So we'll go ahead and do that. And that's 750 millimeters. The next thing we'll do is add cross support as we're going to have to take the air out of the balancing cylinders. Okay, so next we're going to be loosening the taper lock. Now to do so, you want a 5 millimeter Allen wrench. I'm just going to loosen off all the bolts around here. Alright, so loosen all your bolts, and then you're going to want to take 3 bolts out, and then they go into the hole in the middle that's in between the 2 bolts. So you'll thread these 3 bolts into the taper lock, and once they're in, just keep threading it in. You might have to loosen the other bolts off, but eventually, once you get these all the way in, it will release the taper lock. And when threading these in, try and keep even pressure all the way around the taper lock. So just move them about a turn at a time, all evenly. So when releasing the tension on the belt, you're going to want to release here. Just undo these 2 bolts. And then when putting the belt back in place, you're going to want to tension up here. And you're going to want to make sure that both sides are at the same height. So on here I'm about 59 millimeters. And again about 59 millimeters. After putting in your cross beams to support the gantry, we're going to loosen off the balancing cylinders. So you're going to want 2 people, and you're going to want to just up here, just crack this a tiny bit just until some air starts coming out, and try and do it at the same time. So once all the air is released, you can just tighten that back up. All right, so after releasing your tension, you're going to want to come down here into the block and take these off. You have a block on this side and a block on the other side. Once these are off, you can proceed to removing the belt. So after removing your belt clamp, you're going to want to remove your belt on both sides of the machine. And then you're going to lay it on the ground and take the single piece of belting that we've sent you and measure it up to the old belt and cut it at the same length for both belts. After doing this, you can replace the belt back through the pulley system. Put your belt clamp back in place. Then you're going to want to measure from the center of your pulley to the center of the bolt, 750 millimeters. And after doing that, you can proceed to tension your belt again. All right, so we're going to check the tension on the belt. To do so, you just take your tension meter, hold it about an inch or 2 away from the belt, and just give your belt a tap. Now, if you see something like 99 hertz or something really high, it's most likely reading the belt twice. So just go ahead and tap it again. You're going to do this for the top and the bottom. When first putting this on, you're going to want to have your tension at about 65 hertz. Over time, your belt will stretch, and you're going to want to read around 45 to 50 hertz. So after applying tension to your belt, you're just going to want to double check your measurements again of 750 millimeters. After doing that and ensuring that nothing has moved, and it's fine, you can start putting your taper locks back into place. To do that, you're just going to want to take those 3 bolts out and put them back into their original positions and start tightening them down in a star pattern. Once you have one somewhat tight, you can move to the kitty corner of the machine and do the same on that taper lock. You're going to want to do that on all 4 taper locks, and just make sure that your gantry does not move when you're tightening down the taper locks. So after your taper locks are tightened, just take your measurement of 750 millimeters again to ensure that nothing has moved.